Wow. Shanato Butterfly. So kind of on that note, I actually thought the joke ended differently with a financial appeal. But Bethel actually has a wonderful tradition, which is that tonight the president does not make any Nidre appeal, at least a monetary appeal. And when I first learned about that, I just thought how nice that was. And then my turn came, and I stared at a blank screen trying to figure out what I should say tonight. And so I started asking around, and the most frequent answer I got was to give a State of Bethel address. That sounded even better and felt like something I could do, until once again I found myself staring at a blank screen, and nothing came up. So I started thinking, State of Bethel. Well, according to who? Because as I thought about it, I've got one member who loves the new seats but thinks it's too cold in here. Someone else told me that they're schwitzing in here and says that kiddish needs more fruit. Then another pulled me aside to thank me for the perfect kiddish but said that the Tully Tokes are too itchy. So as I concluded, depending on who you ask, the State of Bethel is somewhere between 1 and 5 stars. Unfortunately for me, that felt very unfulfilling for the purpose and the weight of tonight. So I decided to take a different route and ask myself, what is at the core of Bethel? Who are we? And to maybe answer the question for myself, why, oh why did I take this position? And I have to say, I've always been struck on the high holidays by the heathen prayer. The Chazan chants it on the high holidays, and it translates to this. Here I am, poor in deeds, trembling in fear, in front of the Holy One of Israel. I come here before you to plead on behalf of your people who sent me, although I am hardly worthy of the task. And though I stand here tonight in much less dramatic position before all of you, I nevertheless feel the power of Hineni. Here I am, in front of all of you, and really unsure if I feel worthy. But nonetheless, I showed up, and here I am. And I have to say, it's not the first time I felt this kind of weight. When I was 10, my class in Washington, D.C. took a trip to the Smithsonian Museum. And I remember clearly, as our teacher reminded us of our appropriate behavior that day, that she told us that when we go out there on that day, we represent ourselves, our family, our school, and the entire Jewish people. That was a lot for a 10-year-old. But I think it turned out okay. And maybe that has prepared being all-nighters a bit for tonight. Even if it doesn't, for right now, here I am. And the truth is that I, and in fact all of us, are really only here because of the hard work and time and dedication of so many others. So to our staff, starting with Jody, our new executive director, who joined us in June and jumped right in. To Rabbi, Sherry, Alexandra, Zachary, Sandy, Rachel, Laura, and Amy, we all thank you for your leadership, your patience, and your hard work. To our executive committee, board, and committees, we are all here because of your volunteer time, your work, your meetings, your decisions, your outreach, and your insights. And on behalf of everyone here tonight, thank you. And to all the past presidents and all the others in the community who have shared your guidance and perspective with me, I thank you for leading by example, for giving me your ears, your opinions, and for answering my phone calls. And one specific mention tonight to Leslie Winter, who did not have an opportunity to stand up here and see you all face to face to give her address because of COVID over the past couple of years. Leslie, I don't know where you are right now, but thank you for your grace, your tough questions, and your steady leadership guiding our entire community through COVID over the past 2 years. And friends, we aren't just here. We are here at a very special iteration of our community, one that was envisioned and willed into existence by Rabbi Sager. Rabbi Sager was instrumental in designing this inclusive community that we all benefit from today. And he is missed on days like today more than ever. And I also owe a big thank you to all of you who showed up in any way that you could have, especially in the past couple of years. And to everyone else who might have been too tired, busy, sick, or if you were like me, overwhelmed in the past couple of years, and you didn't show up in the way maybe you would have liked to, thank you for taking care of yourself, for coming back, and for trusting that Bethel is here for you too. So as I thought of that and reflected on the core of Bethel, I invariably came back to thinking about my preparation to become president. In my early years on the Bethel board, I watched Noah move us out of the building so we could have this beautiful renovation. I watched Debbie beautifully move us in to this gorgeous new building. And I watched Leslie move us in and out. And kind of in, kind of out, and virtually in, virtually out. And I thought to myself, I have a very simple plan. Stay put. Go in, no out, no new programs, nothing new, just let's go back to the old script. But I'm here to tell you that things don't always turn out as you plan. In my 4 months as president, I've learned that the unexpected in synagogue life really should become the expected. Even when we make good and I think sound decisions, there's no shortage of unplanned reactions. In fact, there's often direct conflict. There's so much conflict that I was actually confident that as I searched for the core of who we are, that conflict should be the theme of what I talk about tonight. But in a good way, how we engage in healthy conflict, how internal conflict has actually defined the Jewish people. It was going to be great. I was going to cite specific Talmudic passages, biblical verses, and all of that as evidence to show that as a people we have survived, and actually I would argue thrive, specifically because we challenge ourselves to be the best we can be, and to make good, well thought out decisions. Because of the frequency in which I engage in it, I was so sure that our ability to have healthy conflict is what defined the core of this community. I was so sure that I wrote 2 drafts of this very speech on that topic. And then, like my plans for presidency, things didn't go as planned. A few weeks ago, I found myself at a ship meeting. It was the 3rd in as many weeks. And as Mario started, I looked around, and I knew that I had to throw out my latest draft and look at a blank screen again. Around the room that night were many members, young and old friends of the family, and new members to the community. In the room that night, there were people who told me that we do too much racial justice work, and people who told me that we aren't doing enough to challenge systemic racism. There were people in that room who we think that we should engage our elected officials more. And there were people in the room who told me that synagogue is just a place for prayer and not for politics. There were people there representing the exact conflicts I was going to talk about and that I have embraced, that I was so sure defined us. And those people were not there for themselves. They were not there for their causes. They were there that night for others. That, I realized, is what defines the core of our Bethel community. When another is in need, we answer the call with a resounding hineni, here I am. And as I thought about what led to that Shiva Minyan, I realized that hineni was the response that our Feber Kadisha gives at all hours of the day to mobilize. Hineni is the answer when we need shomrim at all hours to guard the body before burial. Hineni is the response of the men's and women's Tahara group to take the sacred task of preparing the body for burial. Hineni, here I am, is the call from our community of caring who provides meals to the families in mourning. And Hineni is the answer that so many of you have provided through support with phone calls, house visits, and attending minyanim, so that the mourning family can say Kaddish. That is the core of the Bethel community. That is actually what defines us. And Hineni over the past week is what our community said when we reopened our doors. Rosh Hashanah, and 614 people showed up last week. And all of you showed up here tonight and online with us. And building this special community was absolutely no accident. It happened because year after year, our members have answered the call. They've given their time, they've refused in this community to be spectators of our thriving Jewish community, but rather active participants. And let me tell you, the year ahead is full of amazing opportunity. We are working hard to bring exciting programs to the community, to celebrate Judaism, to celebrate Israeli culture through food, programs, and learning. And we're working hard to bring programming back in person. We have groups working on safety and security, finance, lifelong learning, community of caring, the Feber Kadisha, and a new initiative that the rabbi spoke about on Rosh Hashanah to combat anti-Semitism in our community. I encourage and challenge all of you to join these groups to help ensure that what I witnessed that one night at the Shiva Minyan is a lasting legacy for generations to come. That, I realize, is the state of our Bethel community. It is strong because at our core, we answer the call. And this year, whether it is a call to volunteer, to join a committee or group, yes, perhaps a fundraising call, a call to attend the racial justice community conversation next week, a call to update your online directory information, a call to join the upcoming Solarize Beth El project, or a call just to be there for someone else who is in need. My prayer is that this be the year that we all answer the call with Hineni, here I am. On behalf of the board of Beth El, the Marifex Knox,